Hi, I'm Kirk Johnson. I work for the Relic department at Central Library for the Prince William Public Libraries. I'm really happy to be hosting this great presentation from Susie Besecker, who's an instructional technology coach for Prince William County Schools.
Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm really glad that you could take the time to learn more about OneNote for genealogy. We've got a long agenda. I'm hoping to get through it pretty fast, but don't be worried about that. You don't even really need to take a lot of notes because when you get to the website, everything we're going over is going to be in there. So I just would rather that you just kind of follow along and see what I'm doing versus taking notes, because I know when I take notes, I tend to fall behind. Now, having said that, OneNote is a wonderful place to take notes, but if you don't already have it loaded, I'm going to show you how that's done. We're going to go over all kinds of things about how you use OneNote, and then I have some resources for how you can use that with genealogy. So who am I? Well, I'm just a big fat nobody, but this is a graphic that I created that's kind of all about me. And from this, you can see that other than being a lifelong member of Prince William County or resident here, I like to hike. I'm an instructional technologist for Prince William County for the last 19 years. I'm a tech geek. I love to sew. I love to sew baby things, kid things, quilts, and whatnot. I'm also an amateur genealogist. I love to read books, and I'm also a master gardener. So, and I'm also a finder of family on Ancestry.com. And if we have time for that story later, we'll talk about that. So we've come here to talk about what OneNote is, and you want to know, what is it anyway? Well, it's a place to store all of your notes about everything in your whole entire life. It's not just, it really wasn't intended for genealogy, but it's a great place to work with genealogy. So it's a place to store everything, and the best part is it's actually free. It allows you to go paperless, no more printing, you just collect everything, and it's searchable from anywhere you are on the internet. And if you want to find out, one person's name or something in a range of dates, you can just type it in the search feature, and it'll show you everywhere that shows up. And you can have multiple OneNotes, and you might say, but why? Well, I have multiple ones because I have one personal, I have one for work, I have multiple ones for work, I have one for just my job, and I have one that I share with my staff. So what I wanted to do is just show you this really quick video. It's real short, and you should be able to hear this just fine because I think I optimized for video. Tell me if you can't hear this. Hold on, it's not playing yet. Okay, can you hear that well? Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you, but we can't hear the video.
Okay, all right, so let's do this. I'm going to stop sharing and reshare just to make sure that I did it right, because I probably didn't. Share, optimize, and screen one. Okay. And okay, so now we see, do you see the screen? Kirk, you might want to stay unmuted so that you can just talk to me.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. So you can see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
In OneNote.
We're going to skip.
Create a plan for an upcoming trip, event, recipe, or project by organizing all your content.
This is actually the video, so let me start from the beginning. It's real short, it's less than a minute, but it tells you what OneNote is all about.
Ideas take shape in OneNote. Create a plan for an upcoming trip, event, recipe, or project by organizing all your content in one simple location. Collaborate in real time with anyone, anywhere. Write, draw, and express your vision in countless ways. OneNote gives you the right tools for each part of your life, whether that's at home, at work, or at school. Share your latest inspiration with those you care about most. OneNote is there when you need it. Capture thoughts, take pictures, or review the last details as you head off onto your next journey. Adventures take shape with OneNote.
Okay, so it's kind of an exciting little tool, and I'm excited to be able to show it to you guys tonight. So I'm going to show you, let's see, where am I? I want to show you a OneNote that is one that I've been using for my staff. And the reason I want to show you this is I want you to see how incredibly huge this can be. This is, I cannot move that little thing. Why can't I move it? Oh, there it goes. This is a OneNote that I use with my people at school, and there's a content library in this one. And this content library, as you can see, is full of pages over here, and it's full of a million gazillion sections besides. And as you scroll down through it, down at the bottom, we have these other sections that are new group sections. So these are like little OneNotes inside of a OneNote. And this contains everything they need to know about everything I've ever said to them. And they use this to go and search for help when they can't find me. And I wanted to show you this because I've never reached the bottom of a OneNote. I have never gotten one so big that I couldn't continue to use it. So don't be afraid to add big files to it and as many files as you want. I'm sure Microsoft will let you know if it's getting too big. Okay. So now I'm going to open the one that I have for you guys. It's my little personal one. And we're on the introduction, and I want to show you this OneNote tab. So we're going to talk about installing OneNote, because it's the first thing you need to know is how do I actually get a copy of this? I have a tab here, and this information is on the Google site. In your favorite browser, you're going to go to this site, and you click a purple download button, and that's basically all you really have to do. Okay, and you can download OneNote on any device known to man, basically. It is available on Macs. My presentation is geared mostly toward Microsoft products, which is Windows-based, but you can use all of these things on a Mac as well, and an iPhone. And any cell phone, you can run OneNote on it, and you'll be able to access your OneNote from anywhere, anytime, anyhow. Okay, so that's something to remember. Online versus desktop. And the reason I wanted to talk about this, and I have a little page here, is because there are two different apps that you're going to have access to. And one is an online version, which has some features that the desktop version doesn't have, and vice versa. But the desktop version is far more robust in its features, and it's a lot easier to use as far as I'm concerned. On the desktop version, you can do a search that searches through all of your pages in your OneNote, and it searches every OneNote you own for that topic. As an example, if I were to put in here OneNote, if I could type, we could do that. You see on the bottom here, all of these places where OneNote appears in all of my notebooks. And it tells you the notebook on the right. And it tells me that that is a tab, or what they call a section in OneNote. These are pages in OneNote. And it's telling me where they're located. So if I know I'm looking for one in my instructional technology OneNote, I know I'm going to go here. And I'm going to see the information I'm looking for. So that's a really great feature of OneNote, because no matter how big your OneNote gets, if you're looking for the name of one person, then he's just going to show you every place that one person shows up in your OneNote. Okay. All right. So it's important to know that there are two versions. And you might wonder, how do I know if I'm using the online version or the desktop version? Well, my OneNote that you're looking at right here has a gray theme posted to it, which makes the top dark gray. But notice that I have my sections. These are called section tabs. I call them tabs. They call them sections across the top. And the pages are on the right side. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're online. This is the staff instructional technology book that we were looking at before, and all of the sections are on the left. So it would be, here's the content library. All the sections are on the left, and all the pages would be here in the center. And it's always going to be purple on the top. Okay, and all the commands are basically the same, but there are a few that are different. And we're not really going to play around in this particular OneNote today. We're going to use the one on here. So there are some differences, and this file is actually a part of the website, as I've denoted up here with this blue line. And it talks about the different file formats and all the little different things that work differently in one versus the other. Okay. So this is here for your reference. What I would say is if you're trying to do something and you can't find it on the version that you have open the other one, because that's probably where you can do what you need to do. A lot more of the internet type things are on the version that is online versus the one on the desktop. Okay. So learning OneNote, let's see, we have this little tab here. I'm using these pages to show you how you can use it, because I'm doing my whole presentation to you inside of OneNote completely, except for a couple times when I'm going to go to the internet. I have this video here. It's a great tutorial for beginners. This one is telling you, and I denote this on the right, that this one is the online version of OneNote. And it's a really quick video. So if you don't feel acclimated to the online one and you need to use it for something, you can watch this little video. But this is not the one that is installed on your computer. This video down here, both of these are on the web page. And this one's 2 hours long. We don't want to watch this, and I don't want to waste your time watching a 10-minute video either. This one is almost 2 hours long. I think it's just a few seconds short of 2 hours. This is the client version, or the one that's on your desktop. It's on your computer. So if you're using the OneNote on an iPad or a tablet or your cell phone more, you're going to want to watch the short one. It's about online version. If you're going to use the one on your desktop mostly, you'll watch this. This 2 hour one might give you a lot of information. There's a lot of other places you can go to get the basics. Like right here today, you're going to get the basics. Lucky you. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the vocabulary of OneNote. And there was something back here on introduction when I was talking about what OneNote is. And I wanted you to think of it as a library with many shelves, many books, with many chapters and many pages. Okay, and what can you do with it? Well, you can save everything in your life, everything. So up here at the top, we have a bar that you might think this is called a menu bar, but they actually call this the command bar. And you don't see anything here. And it's not very helpful because you can't see what you need to be able to do. But if you click on any one of these, it opens up what we call the ribbon. And you guys work in Word and PowerPoint and things like that, and you've seen this ribbon before. That's called the ribbon. And to keep that ribbon on the page, after you click the menu bar, the command bar command, you're going to go over to the pin and click that pin. And that pins the ribbon, so anywhere you click, it stays on the page. Okay. If you want to get rid of it, you just push that little up caret and it's gone again. And then you're moving around. So if I just choose one thing here and then I click on the page, the ribbon disappears and my commands are gone. You don't really need that or want that to happen. At least I don't. So I keep the ribbon pinned all the time. It doesn't seem to take up too much space for me. I don't know about you. Okay. Let's see. We're going to talk about the commands by group. So we have the command bar. This is the whole thing is called the ribbon. And these are command groups that are separated by these bars. And when you watch any kind of tutorials and they say in the tags command group, this is the name of the command group down here. Okay. I don't know how many times they'll say that, but these are called command groups. And they're separated by these vertical bars. Okay. The quick access toolbar is what you see on the very top of the screen. And you can actually customize this. Right now you see it has the undo and the redo and it has a back button. Well, if you use this little arrow here, I want the print to be there. So I'm going to just click that down arrow and choose print, and now I have the printer. So any commands that you use all the time and you want them to be accessible to you up here, you can add them. by going down to more commands, and you can choose anything you want. Okay, anything that's in this list, and this is popular commands, but you can do all commands, and there's so many that you probably won't even know what they do. But if there's something that you find yourself using all the time, go ahead and put it up here on the quick access toolbar. Okay. All right, and actually I should have shown you how you do that. On the quick access toolbar, if I wanted to put an eraser, if I'm going to do, we don't want to do an eraser. Let's do, you could do record audio. We click that, we click the add button, it shows up on the right, and we just say, okay. And now we have audio record up here also. It's that easy to put up your quick commands. Okay, so where do I find my notebooks when I actually have one? Well, I'm actually going to show you how to add one in a second, but let's see, should we do that now? Maybe we'll do that now. I'm trying to follow an agenda, but I might have put that in the wrong place. Ribbon 10. Okay, we're just going to follow the agenda. I'm sure it's in there. So if you have more than one notebook, to see the other notebooks, you just click this down arrow and you'll see all of your notebooks. Okay. And if it's not showing up, you click open other notebooks and you'll find it in the list. And they're all going to be, mostly different colors. So that's where you go to find more notebooks. Now, across the top, we have our sections. I call these tabs because I look at this like it's a file cabinet drawer. So if I say tab, I'm talking about the sections here. But these are sections that you can add and change the colors for. And to do that, you just basically click this to create a new section. And it puts a name up there and you click on it. And if you click on it and it doesn't let you type, if you right click, you can rename the section and you can call it whatever you want. New section, and hit enter. If I don't like the color, I can right click that and change the section color down here and choose a different shade. Okay. If I want to delete a section, I right click and I delete the section and it says, are you sure you want to do that? I'll say yes. Okay. Okay. So we've shown you how to add a tab there, and we've renamed a tab, we've recolored a tab, and we've deleted a tab. So you just learned how to do 4 things right there. And it was basically the plus sign to add one, and then to rename it, you right click on it, right click to recolor, and right click to delete. Right click, always right click everything because there's always something hidden in there. We already talked about the search button, which is really very useful. If I were to put in genealogy, I'm going to find a few things there, right? So, but if you're looking for a name, I have some tabs or some sections up here with some family names. And if I put Schaus here, it's going to show you exactly where they are. And if there's pages that are on those, okay, or where he's mentioned. So if I click there, it's going to take you to the Schaus section, to the Fred Schaus page, which basically right now is empty. Okay. All right, are there any questions so far?
Nobody has sent me anything.
Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about building your OneNote. And we've done some of that already by showing you how to add sections across the top. But if I wanted to add a page, all I do on here is to add page. And the page doesn't have a name. It's still untitled on the right. And I'm going to say, I'm going to call this my insert, sorry about this, typing, insert links page. Okay. And once I come off of there, notice it has a date and everything on there. That's the date it was last edited. Notice now it shows up in my list over here. If I wanted to move this page, all I have to do is grab this and drag it where I want it to be. So I don't know if you noticed in my really big staff notebook, there were a ton of pages here, and I wanted to alphabetize them, and to do it, I had to drag them around. There is a site, and I do not mention this because it's kind of advanced. There is a place where you can go to a macro site and download a sorter. and I sort the pages using this if they get really long, but it's really easy to just drag them around. But I would encourage you to keep them in order as you create them, because in your head, as you're thinking about it, if they're in alphabetical order, they're easier to find. Okay, so I want to show you how to insert a link. So let's say, and I'm going to go to here, and I got to get that thing out of there. I can't click the plus sign. Hold on. I can't add it's in the way. Hold on. Let's see if I can move. You guys can't see the meeting controls, but they're in the way right now. Okay. All right, now I can see. All right, so here we go. I am going to search for, let's see, genealogy Schaus. Okay. So I'm looking for something about, okay, here's the family history of Schaus. I'm going to right click that. I'm going to copy the link address, and I'm going to reopen my OneNote on the bottom, and I want to paste that here. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to paste it. That is not what I'm doing. I am right clicking, pasting. There we go. That's all there is to putting a link on the page. Okay. However, if I wanted to embed that, because this is not very accessible, if you know what accessibility is on internet, if I wanted to do a link to Schaus, I can type this in and highlight it. I can insert a link, and then I just do copy that in there, paste it in there, and say okay. So now that name will take me right to that site. Okay, so I no longer need this, so I'm going to get rid of it because it makes my page a lot less cluttered. Okay, now this shouldn't even be on this page, right? So I want to move this link. I'm going to call this Schaus links. I really wish somebody could type for me, because I'm not doing a very good job. AUSS, Schaus links. Okay. Now I want to move this because it's under OneNote, and I meant to put it under Schaus. So I'm going to right click the page over here. And don't worry, all these things are going to be talked about in the information I'm giving you. And I'm going to say move or copy. And we're just working with this OneNote right here. Okay. We're not working too far down. I want to send it to Schaus, and I'm actually going to move it. You can copy it. There might be a time when you want to copy pages into multiple family groups, so you can just use the copy button. But when I do move, it's going to take that page and it's gone. And now when I click on the Schaus tab, it's over there. Okay, so it's very easy to put links in the page that you find online. Okay. So let's say I want to describe what this link is for. I want to put in a video recording, and I'm hoping this will work because I'm using audio for the Cisco meeting. I don't know if it's going to record, but it should. I'm going to try that. I'm going to click record, and it should be recording right now until I go ahead and click the stop button. Okay. And I'm just going to, it creates this little icon here. Wherever your cursor was is where it puts that. And I'm going to try to play it back, but I'm not sure it's ready, but I'm going to try. And it should be recording right now until I go ahead and click the stop button. Okay, so you, as genealogists, you have got to understand the power of being able to do a voice explanation rather than having to type everything out about where you went and what you did and who you saw and who you interviewed and what resources you've been looking at. You can come in here and just do voice recordings, and then you can go back later and type out what you want to keep as notes. So that's really, really powerful. I really like that. And there's also a record video. I can't do that while we're on here because I'm using my camera for the meeting. So, but it works the same way. Okay, and it's going to insert the little video right there. So what it's going to do is it's going to record you speaking. So if you wanted to do some interviews with someone, you could start the recording and have them sit in front of your computer, or you could record, I guess that's really the only way you can do it, because you can't use the camera on your computer for more than one thing. So it wouldn't really work online. It would have to be somebody sitting in front of you or in front of your computer, and you can record that video. And I don't know if that is actually an option on the online version or not. I'm not 100% sure. So does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. So I'm actually going to add a new page, and I'm going to call it Schaus Images. So now I'm going to show you how to put in a picture. And I could have put it on the links page, but I like to keep things separated from each other. So one page will be links and one page will be recordings. But if I have information on one person that I found on one site, I might want to put it under that person's name. For instance, well, I don't want to get that deep into this just yet, but we can create actual section groups. So if I right click on any of these tabs, I can do a new section group, and I can have a section group called Schaus, and then I can create tabs across the top by the people with the last name of Schaus. I'll show you that. We'll do a new section group, and I'm going to name it Schaus. So you don't see it across the top, but when you use this drop down arrow, it shows you what else is there. And here you see the Schaus group. So this is like a whole nother notebook inside of the notebook. And this is the Schaus section. And I can add a page here and call it, that's not what I want. I want to right click this and rename it. It doesn't like you to come off of that. I'm going to call it Frederick A. Okay. And let's see if I can find, I'm not sure I can. Let's try. Frederick A. Schaus. And I'm going to look for images and see if there's any out there. And none of these happen to be the person I'm looking for, but we're going to act like one of them. Oh, here it is. This is my grandfather right here. So I want to put that picture on, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to copy this image. I'm going to open OneNote. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to paste the picture. Boom, done. And I can make it bigger. And actually, you see where it's very blurry. So let's try, this was just copied, and let's go back to the web page. And instead, I'm going to save the image as, oh, there's him again. I'm going to save this image as Schaus and FA. And I'm just going to put it in my downloads directory just because it's fast to see there. I'm going to go back to OneNote. And instead of doing it that way, I'm going to do insert pictures, and I'm going to tell it where to look. And I did that in downloads. I put everything in downloads so I always know where they are. And I'm going to double click that, and it's putting it in here again. Now, does that make it more readable? I don't know. Let's see if we can stretch it. It might not. And it really doesn't, because it's the picture that's been brought in. So you can insert pictures that are on your computer already. So if you were like me back when we had to do everything with a scanner, and you sat there for hours and hours and scanned all your old family photos, you can actually upload those in here. I'm going to delete this one just by selecting it and pressing delete. And I'm just going to say internet photos. Okay. And there was another one out there that we saw. This is him as well. So I'm just going to right click and copy this. And I'm going to come back to here, and I'm going to right click and paste it. All right. Notice it's not telling me where the pictures came from. So when you do things like this, you might actually want to click on the site and at least copy this. You really, can you do that? No, can't. You would have to go to the site or type it in. Okay. So this is one way that you can go and find pictures that are online and just throw them in your notebook until you can get them up into whatever other app you're using, like Family Tree Maker or Ancestry.com. Are there any questions about inserting photos?
Seems intuitive.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's like you do everything else. Okay, so we're moving right along here. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, I'm going to go back. To get back to my regular section, I have to click this back arrow. And now you see all my other tabs. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to OneNote, and I'm going to show you how to embed a spreadsheet. So if you have a spreadsheet out there already, or if you have data or something that you've been keeping on a spreadsheet, the really great thing that OneNote does is it allows you to put an editable spreadsheet into the OneNote. So if you're going to share your OneNote with other family members, you guys can build this thing up and you can share this information like crazy, and they can actually help you learn more about your family or keep records. So I want to do both of these things, and I left these here as a note for myself. So this is the name of the file that I want to put in, and I put this here by using file attachment. But I actually want to add a spreadsheet, and I'm going to include an existing spreadsheet first, in case you have one. And this is just an example. This is something I did for a class, but it's a small file, and I didn't want to bring anything big in. So I'm just going to insert a spreadsheet just to show you how it's done. And I'm going to actually insert it. And it's thinking, it just kind of flipped out of OneNote, but it's going to come back. Okay. And so now it has my author's contact. Well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the interesting thing about this is that if I click on this, I can actually edit the file by clicking here twice, maybe 3 times. It's supposed to open. It opened earlier today, I promise you. Here we go. So now I can edit the file right here. So the faults in our stars, I'm just going to put in, here is a new note. Okay. And then I'm going to close this. Oh, save it. And when I refresh this, this should actually refresh itself. Let's go back and we'll come back to it. So introduction, OneNote. There it is. Here is a new note. So they're editable straight from this page. So you don't have to remember where the file is. And the only time this would be a problem is if the file moves and it's no longer in the right location. Okay, so we've done this, and I'm going to take this out of here. I'm just going to click on it and I'm going to delete it. And now I'm going to show you how you can start a new one. So let's say you just wanted to start collecting information in a spreadsheet about some resources that you've already looked in and just want to keep them in there. I want to make sure that I check out this resource that I heard there was a page about my family in. And next time I go to the Pennsylvania State Library, I want to create this file so I know where I'm going and what I'm getting, what I want to look at. So I'm going to go to spreadsheet at the top on the ribbon, and I'm going to click new spreadsheet. Now, the only problem I see with this is I did this earlier today just to check it. And maybe it's because I'm using a school computer. I don't know. But I could not find where it actually saved this spreadsheet to save my life. So I would recommend creating the spreadsheet outside of OneNote and then importing it in using this and importing an existing one. And then you can change it all you want. I could not find where the spreadsheet was saved online or on my desktop. I couldn't find it. So if you can find it and you know where they're coming from, I even looked it up online and was not successful. But I just wanted you to know that you can keep some records in here that you've been working on or want to work on. You can put a spreadsheet in here and they're searchable as well. All righty. Okay. So the other thing we're going to show you is embedding a Word doc. And it's basically as easy as saying file attachment or file printout. This is a file attachment. This little thing right here that says core 3.3.5. All that is if I click that, I can get to the file. Okay, it'll open Word and I can edit the file, but I don't know what's in the file. But if I wanted to do a file printout, the file printout will actually show me what's in the file and it will print the file on my page. Oh, this is the one it was. So I'm going to click insert here. And this is a file printout. So it's going to show you the contents of the file and it's going to attach the file. So it takes just a minute. And while it's doing this, it's opening up OneNote and everything. And so here you see it's attached this little thing here. So it tells you where the file is and it shows you the contents of the file. The contents of this file are not editable. Well, maybe they are. Well, here we go. Maybe they are. It's putting the cursor in here, but I don't think it is. I think you can edit it, but I don't think it's going to edit the file. Now it's not letting me edit anything. It thinks I'm putting in another box. So Word is not editable, but spreadsheets can be editable. Okay. So any of the stories, the family stories that you have typed up in Word can be put into your OneNote. Now, you don't have to type them in Word because you can actually just start typing over here. And you can type your whole story right here in OneNote. Okay. Because what is OneNote? It's a place to take notes. It's not about just adding all these things from the outside, but I can put all kinds of information on the inside. So if I were to go back to my shout, well, let's go back to the shout section group. And Fred, I can put in here, found on I think this was the Boys State webpage. I can put any notes I want. Okay, so you can type and type and type, and you can also, you can change fonts, you can change styles, you can do all of these things up here. It's just like Word when you get to typing. However, what it does is it puts them in these little text boxes, and these text boxes can be dragged and moved around. Like I can move this picture anywhere I want on the page. Okay, and I can create multiple text boxes. So everything in here is put in a box and you have to click it to move it. Does that make sense? Very, very simple. Okay. Okay. One thing I wanted to mention and I didn't, I'm going to backtrack for just a second on the spreadsheet. We took it out. Remember when I deleted that file from here? I just wanted you to know it does not delete the file outside of here. The file still exists. It's just deleting the link to the file. Okay. I just want to make sure you understand. I didn't delete the file at all. All right. So now we're going to talk about embedding a video. It's so easy to embed videos. So I have some instructions right there, and you can see there's a link to one here. But I'm going to go to the internet, and I'm going to go to, let's see. Let's do genealogy video. And here's a back to basics for ancestry. Let's just take this one. It's one I want. I'm going to right click it. I'm going to copy the link address. I'm going to go to OneNote. Watch how easy this is. I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste it. That's all I had to do. And it put the video right inside here. I can actually click on this and make the video bigger. Okay. So anytime you find something that you might want to watch later, drag it in here. I mean, copy the link, right click, copy the link, paste it into the page, and then you can come back and watch it later. Now, if you were to share this in multiple ways, like if I were to share this page or move this page, the video goes with it. Everything that's on the pages and in the sections will go with it when you share it, if you share it out to people, okay? And by that, I mean by sending it to them rather than editing your OneNote. Because sometimes you don't want them messing in your stuff, right? You want your own, they can mess with their own. You can give them what you got and they can play around in there. But you might not want them messing around in your OneNote, okay? We'll talk about how to share also. So do we have any questions so far? Seems pretty easy, right? Seems pretty powerful.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So now I'm going to go to site links. Any
Do we
questions?
have a question?
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
I have a question.
Are you able to bring in
PowerPoint slides?
That's a really good question. And yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
I think I have one in here. Hang on. Training. No, I had one in here. It's for the internet. Where is it? Where is it? You know what? I might have deleted the page, but let's do that. So we'll add a page.
So you could probably
import
And I'm going to
everything
say
you can in Word.
you can put anything in here.
Okay.
You can put anything in here. I'm going to say embed PowerPoint. Not PowerPoint. PowerPoint. I had one in here. I don't know where it went. And let's see. I'm going to insert. And I'm going to do a file attachment because I want, oh no, I want a file printout. You can also do PDFs. And let's see, I'm going to go to the OneDrive. And I'm looking for, I had one in here. I don't know where it went. Give me just a second. Because I had stuff in here for the library and I'm not sure I still have it. But I guess it doesn't really matter which one I bring in, does it? So I'm going to search this. And I'm going to do PPT. Here we go. So here's one on thermal energy, just to show you one. And actually, it's going to open on my other page. I need to know where it is. Give me just a sec. Let's see. There must be a PowerPoint here somewhere. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let's see where this goes. File. Save a copy. Online copies made of files. Okay. I had the whole searching thing that I did last October in there. Here we go. All right, so we're just going to bring this one in. So I'm just going to insert it. I don't know how long this is, so it might take it a minute. I did an advanced search class for the library back in, was it October, Kirk? I think it was October. And I had embedded that in here. Oh, it's in use by another program. Why? Oh, I know why. Hang on. Because I have it open. Okay, we're going to retry. Printout. We'll try this one more time. Okay, so it's going to take just a second. That was a really good question. I don't know what happened to the page where I had that. We'll probably find it while we're in here. That's taking its time. Okay, so while that's doing that, we will, there we, all right, let's open it back up. Okay, so it's waiting. There we go. So it's putting the whole thing in here, page by slide by slide. So the answer is an emphatic yes. That was a really good question. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to show you how you actually, if you wanted to create a second notebook, or if you had to move things around, I did show you how to move a page, but I want to show you some things about sections. So the sections are across the top, and you can actually send them out. So if I were to send this one, I could right click on it and I can move or copy this. So I'm going to actually click it, and this time I'm going to copy it and I'm going to send it to a different notebook. So I'm going to close this one and I'm going to open this one. And I'm just going to put it on delete me and I'm going to say copy. Okay, so it's going to take everything that's in this OneNote section and put it into that book. So to get to that book, I use the drop down. I'm going to delete me, and it's actually, you saw those little green arrows. It's in the process of syncing the book. And here is the OneNote section. It's all in here. And that PowerPoint has come with it. Okay, the video came with it. The Word doc, I think I deleted, it's still there, but we didn't keep the spreadsheet in. And here's the other information. So it's all there. So it's that easy to move back and forth between notebooks. If you decide you want to go to a different notebook, maybe you want to build a notebook and then you download a template and it's a whole notebook and you want to put the stuff you already did into your new one. And I'm going to show you one that you might want to do that too. You can just copy your sections that way. I don't want to keep this section. Let's say I want to get rid of it. I'm going to right click, and you found out that you weren't related to that person. So you're going to get rid of them. You just click delete, right click and delete, and it takes it out. It's that easy. It's very, very intuitive. Okay, we talked about how you get to and from different notebooks using the drop down arrow. You can choose your notebooks here, right? The only thing that cannot be copied, and I don't know why they don't let you do it, is when you do section groups. This cannot be copied. Well, you can copy the link, and that's all you can do. And you can move it, but you can't copy it. So in order to actually do these, you would have to come here and move these sections out and then import them into another one. And we'll talk about that. But for some reason, they do not allow you to do a whole group like that. And I'm not sure why. I haven't been able to find anywhere where you can do that. Okay, so we've done move copy. Now, let's talk about sharing your work. So let's say you've built all this up and you want to share it, but you don't necessarily want to share. Well, let's say first you just want to show people how to get to a page. So you added somebody to your notebook to share it. All you have to do is do File, and you're going to click Share, and you share with people, right? Or you can get a sharing link, and they can just access it through the link. But they have to go to that link every time. So it's best if you just share it with people and then type their email address in here. And then you click Share, and they get to it. And over here on the right, you might want to say they can only view it unless you want them to be able to edit it. Okay. And that can be changed later as well. Okay, so if we go back, if I want to just send somebody, let's say somebody wants to know what we have about the Schaus family, and I want to just show them what I've got, or I want them to come in and work on this with me. I right click and I can say copy link to section, and then I can email them the link. And when they get it in their email, it's going to just send them straight to this page, to this section. It'll put them right here. Okay. And you can do that with anything inside. You can do it even with just a page, because you see copy link to page. Does that make sense? All right. Let's see. Where are we going from here? Export a section tab. We did that. Okay. All right. So actually, we're moving really fast. So now I'm going to show you just some little fun things, like what's in these little file commands. So in the file command, this is where you do everything to the entire notebook. Okay, so anything you do under the File tab concerns the entire notebook, except for exporting. Okay, if you want to share the entire notebook with someone and you want them to have their own copy, you would come here and do File Export, and you would do, this is for a section, but you can also do the whole thing. Why is it not? Oh, here we go. On the left side, you do a page, a section, or a notebook. If you want them to have the whole notebook, you click Notebook, and you give them this OneNote package. Okay, and if I export this, I'm just going to export it. I'm going to tell it where to put it, and I'm not going to put that on my downloads because I want to send it to somebody. So I'm going to say desktop, and I'm just going to call this Genealogy PWC. Okay, and it's going to do the current notebook, or you can do selected pages or the current section, but I'm going to do the whole thing. And this would be, okay, I've got this really set up and somebody wants to play around with it, but I don't want them in mine, and I don't want them editing my pages because my dear Aunt Freddie Cornett would really ruin my OneNote if I let her in here. So I'll just give her her own, right? So it's going to export everything in the notebook, and it's going to call it Genealogy PWC, and it's going to put it on my desktop. Then I can put that on a shared OneDrive, or I can email it to her. And once she has it on her drive, she just has to click it and open it. That's all she has to do. It'll just open in OneNote. Okay. And we'll look at that in a little bit. Okay, so moving along. And it's not going to let me do anything until this is quite done. It'll take it just a minute. So are there any questions about what we've done so far? Anybody out there?
Nobody's passed anything along.
Okay, that's good. And, you know, just for giggles, I threw in these names of people in my family And actually, I think what I would have done better would to be creating a section group on the family names and then putting the people in as their own sections on there. So I can add multiple pages and resources for each person. But, you know, don't think of OneNote as just for genealogy. I use it for, if anybody has a Rocketbook, which is a digital notebook, if you go into a library with one of these digital notebooks, it's called a Rocketbook, and you can write down all kinds of notes. But if you're going to take your laptop with you, you can just type in on the OneNote page, right? But if you can't take it in with you, you don't have it, and you have a Rocketbook, you write on these with a friction erasable ink, gel ink pen, and you take pictures and you can upload it straight to your OneNote. And then you just wipe this off with water and you can reuse the notebook. And it comes in multiple sizes. I have that one. And I also have this one that would fit inside my purse for us ladies, right? And so it's really, really simple to use. If you've never used a Rocketbook, it's a really great tool. And Rocketbook is one word. Okay, it's not quite finished. Why is that taking so long? It's because we are also online, I guess. But it's not going to let me do anything else till it's done. I should have exported one earlier, sorry. So as I was saying, what I would do is use the right click on one of these tabs and create a new section group with the last name, and then create sections like this across the top by the person's first name, and then add pages to that. This should say Fred Schaus on it instead of Schaus. And then I would add all kinds of pages about Fred Schaus here for information. Now, you don't have to create more than one page. The pages are like unlimited in length, and you can just keep typing and typing and typing. So I'm going to ask you guys to believe me because that's just not working. It's just taking too long. So it'll work. It just takes time. So I've never reached the bottom of a web page of a OneNote page. So you can just keep scrolling like forever. Like I could keep adding things. As you see, there's a scroll bar on the right, and I can put things over here. I can just start typing, and it'll keep adding things to the right. Okay, so it does have a limit to the right side, and it won't go any further than that. I don't think it'll go past it. Oh, yes, look, it keeps going. So I guess I can keep going to the right as well, but you won't be able to see it. So you might as well not, right? Okay. So let's see, there's a couple things up here. I want you to know that you can insert a table. And when you do that, it asks you the rows and columns. So you could insert a table versus a spreadsheet. The file printout shows you the whole file. The attachment just puts you the link in there and tells you it's a Word or PowerPoint or PDF or whatever. You can also do screen clippings. So let's try this. If I wanted to share a piece of what I had, so if I go to Schaus and I go to images and I wanted to share, what happened to my pictures? Where'd they go? I put them here. What happened? We didn't delete those. Interesting. I don't know where my pictures went, y'all. Interesting. Okay, so let's say I wanted to just do a screen clipping of something on the page. I can come to the screen clipping tool. And actually, this is for the internet anyway. And I can just, it's not working. Oh, it's working. It's just, for some reason, this is taking forever. Let's try this again. So, oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I think my computer is trying to do something. And I don't know what it is.
It looks like it's
Well, it's not because I can move the cursor. All right, let's say it's, I think it's waiting for my screen clip and it didn't tell me. So I'm grabbing that and there it is. So it's as easy as just clicking the screen clipping. And if you click it, it's going to take you to the web page you're on. And then you have to hurry up and wait, I guess. Yeah. And we have to wait for the screen to go blank. And then we want these two things here. It grabs them and throws them in whatever page I have open. Okay. So there's that. Then there's the pictures, and then you can go search for pictures online. There's online video link. We did the recording audio, and it will also do video. You can add, if I click up here, I can add the date. I can add the time, or I can add the date and time. All right, and I can add math symbols. We're going to come back to page templates though. There's also draw. So if I wanted to, I'm going to delete this section. I don't like it. If I wanted to draw on this slide, all I have to do is come up here and grab a pen, and then my cursor becomes a pen. Okay, and there's an eraser. It's just like a whiteboard. It's just like having a whiteboard at your disposal. And I have a touch screen here, but I've not done it. And draw with touch. And let's see, let me choose this highlighter. And then I'm using my finger to draw. Okay, so it has that, and it also has lassos and all kinds of things. If you know how to use these tools, it's very easy. And you can even come in here and play with it. So if you go to history, it's going to show recent edits. And if you have multiple people who are helping you with your OneNote, you can do find by author, so you can find just what they have done. What has my Aunt Freddie done to my OneNote? I just can't tell. And then you can mark things that you've read or not seen. Review, basically you can also translate things that people send you from other countries. You don't really care about accessibility, but there is a spell check and the research, and there's a thesaurus. Okay. And the view is something fun because let's go back to online versus this. No, I want one with text on it. Let's go back to the intro. The top. Okay, I'm going to scroll to the right. It still has the eraser on, so I have to go back to draw and get rid of it. I had to click the eraser to get off of it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to view. And let's say I wanted to spruce this up a little bit, and I wanted to add ruled pages. I just click ruled page, and it knows where I've typed, and it puts a line before and after each one. If I don't like it, I just take it off. Okay. You can choose different kinds. You can even get grid paper if you want. If you're into drawing maps or things like that, I'm going to say none. I can also change the color. I'm sorry, wrong thing. I can change the color by clicking this, and it changes the background color of the page. And the reason this is good to do is you might want to color all the pages for a certain family the same color, so that if you're getting confused about where you are, which you shouldn't because you've got tabs and pages and things, but it might be helpful to you to color code certain things so that you know exactly what it is you're looking at. And you can do it through the page color thing. And you can change them all up. Okay, and if you need to zoom in or zoom out, you've got your zoom thing here, new windows. We can put certain things always on the top. You can just play around with that. Okay, so what I wanted to go back to was, we're going to look at templates. And that was insert. So I'm on this page about what is OneNote anyway, and I want to create a checklist for myself the next time I go to research somebody. And I'm just going to click on page templates, and it's going to open this sidebar. It's really slow. I just wanted to open page templates, folks. There we go. Okay, so it has some different categories here, and I want to look at this planner. So I'm going to use the down arrow, and I have a project to-do list, and a prioritize, and a simple. I'm going to show you the differences in all of them. I'm going to add each one. Notice that it's adding a page for everything that I click on, except for that one. Doesn't want to do that one. That one, it keeps changing. It's overriding. Okay, just add a page. And on this one, we'll do the project. There we go. So I think now we have all three. It's just slow. It just caught up to me. Okay, So here's a to-do list here where you can actually just type right here what it is you want to do when you go do your research. And then you can just pull this up on your phone when you get there. And you can check them off as you get them done. So if I want to do locate Schaus resources, Fred. And then when I get there, I know I want to find a certain category for him or a certain record. Maybe I'm looking for his birthday or his death date. Fred A. Schaus, death record. And then as I get them done, I can just click them off. So if I've got them done, they just get checked and they're done. So there's just a couple of different styles in here, and you can change your priorities, and there's another one here, okay? So these are templates that are inside of OneNote, but there are other templates that you can find. You can look at the other templates here, but there is, under site links, I believe, the best template site. And this is in on the web page, but this company, askcomp.com, has one for family tree, and I want to show this to you because it's really cool. When you get here, and the directions for this are on the web page, is you're going to hover on templates, then you're going to click family tree, and then you're going to come down here under the free section and just put your name and your email. I got to use a different one because I've already done this. And select the download, and you want the family tree OneNote. And it's going to send you a download link. It's going to go to your email. Let's see if it's there. It's not there because I haven't heard it come in. But once it comes in, there it is. It comes in, and you click on the download. All these instructions are in the web page, so don't get worried about it. So it's downloading it as a zip file, okay, and it's taking its time. Okay, there it is. So I would find that in my downloads, but I'm going to click the up arrow and say show in folder. And here you see it's a zip file. Can you guys see there's a little zipper on it? And I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to extract all, and all these are in there. And I'm going to change where this is going because it's a OneNote file and I want it to be with my OneNotes. So I'm going to go to, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so I'm going to go to my documents. Oh, it's in the OneNote notebooks. It was already there. I want to put it in this folder. So I'm going to click select folder, and I'm going to say extract. And it's pretty fast usually. Okay, and there it is. And all I have to do is open this, and the installation and README tells you to click on the get started and then the family tree. So I'm going to click get started. And what it's doing is it's opening a notebook. Okay, and it's only got the one section on getting started, and it's got a couple of pages in it. But I want to go back to my directory. It's still catching up to my deleted files. And I'm going to go to this directory again, and then it wants me to do the family tree. So I'm going to open that. And I wanted to show you this one in particular because it's really cool. And my computer's just taking forever. This is one that you might want to start with because it gives you all of these pages in here. So it's giving you a family tree, and it's giving you places. If you fill these things in, it's going to put the names on the family tree for you. Okay, I haven't played around with it too much, but I think it's something you might want to look at, especially if you're not using Ancestry or something else, and you want to keep a tree. You can create it here, and it puts their names in over here, which I thought was excellent. So what you could do is go to that site first and extract these and open those two files, and then start creating your own tabs. Actually, it's doing open sections, so let's see. file. My computer's just very, very slow. But you would be able to add your own pages and tabs across here. And this would change to family tree. This is what it should be doing, but my computer's just, crapping out on me. Okay, so that is in a nutshell. I'm going to go back to my other notebook. I wanted to show you one more thing in here, and that is tips for the internet. Here's the PowerPoint. It was under tips. So there's a whole thing in here about the search that we did, and that's really huge. That is a huge, long PowerPoint. It took 2 hours to get through it. If you guys were there, you know how long it was. But it put the whole thing in here, and there's just no end to the bottom of this page. It just keeps going forever. Okay, so let me show you the Google site. Actually, I'm going to show you down here because it's up already. So I created this web page for you guys, and you're going to get the link to it from Kirk after the session when the recording is ready. And there's a place here where you can contact me if you have any questions or suggestions about the site or OneNote. You can email me. And right here you have one section that is about how you download OneNote, how to create a new one. Okay. And here's the resources for learning those 2 videos. Okay. This is the desktop version. This is the online version. So this one is 2 hours. This one's 10 minutes. This is telling you what the differences are. And this is how you embed the documents that we showed you. Okay.
Hey, Susie.
Yes, sir.
Someone just a minute ago asked if you could show the family tree page for an individual again.
Sure. Let me finish this. We'll go back to that. So the other thing I have here is a group of things. This is a Perl tree. And if you go in here, it's going to give you everything that we talked about learning the application. And that includes the videos that are on the one above. Okay. And these are little tutorials and where to go for some help. And then we're going to back up here, and there's some how-tos in here. And this was how to create the notebook. It's a little video I did for you guys. This is how to share a page of notes from a book. And this is how to add the templates in the video, which is pretty much the same as adding a document. Okay. And then I have, sorry, I keep moving the page. This is using it for genealogy. So we didn't talk too much about the genealogy part, but there's some really great resources here, especially the family history files. They're all really good. And this one here at the first is actually going to give you some basics on OneNote to begin with, some of the things that we've gone over. So if you want to start with something, you might create your OneNote and then come in here and watch that. But these are different things about how to use it for family tree history. Okay. And then I think I just have, this is the 6 best sites to download the templates. You can play around with those. It includes the one with the family tree. And then there's some helpful links for OneNote. Okay. So this is going to come to you in an email soon. All right. So we're going to go back to the OneNote, and we're going to, hope I can get back to it. Open sections. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you wanted to see the individual pages?
Yes.
So this is where you would put your father's name. So let's put my dad's name in here. It's going to let me. It's not letting me edit because my computer's waiting on something. But you should be able to edit this page. It's open sections, and it should have created a family tree OneNote. Not sure why it didn't. Let's do file. Yeah, I don't know why. It's doing something on my end. So is there something in particular that you wanted to see about the page? Whoever asked.
Dave, feel free to unmute yourself. If you.
Here's the tips and tricks, and it's telling you some things about this site. Here's some blank copies where you can add more pages. Okay, well, that's let me see if there's anything else that we missed. I'm going to scoot back over to the other one. Let's go here, go to Susanne. Let's make sure I hit everything I wanted to hit. So we did those. We did all of those. Site links. Now I have DNA in here just to show you that you can put site links in. It was just an example. And there's a difference between putting in the URL, which is something like this, and putting in text and attaching the URL. If you just put a URL in, you don't always know what it is or why it was there. So there's a couple things you can do. You can type the text and insert a link, or you could put a audio recording next to it to explain what the page is all about. Let's see, and here's just an example where I clipped something from Ancestry.com. So if somebody you know uses Ancestry or some other site and you want to stop paying for it and do your own thing, or you're just getting started, you could have them send you some screenshots, or you can create your own and throw them in here so you at least have the people, the names and things like that. Let's see, under shells, we went through that. And I think these are empty. And tips for the internet. And I just had tidbit tips here. Oh, this is one thing. Anytime you're on the internet, I'm going to show you this. If you're on a page where, like here, let's say I wanted to go to this, but I don't want to change this page. Usually, well, it's not letting me do it there. Usually if there's a link on a page, like here, you can right click. Well, my computer is really slow right now. I don't know what's happening, folks, and I apologize. Because you should be able to right click on any link that you find. Let's try one here. I'm going to right click and I can open the link in a new tab. So I'm going to do that. And you see it opened a new link at the top, but I can still work on this page and then I can go between my tabs to do work. A lot of people don't realize that anytime you right click, you can open in a new tab and then you don't have to keep clicking and opening and closing and opening and closing. So that's a good thing to know as an internet tip. And that's leaving the tabs open. But remember to close those tabs later on, because if you leave this open and maybe you open a new session of Google and you've got 4,000 million tabs open, it's going to take up your resources. So you're going to want to make sure that you're clicking those closed when you don't need them anymore. Okay, just make sure you keep doing that. Okay, I hope you guys got something out of this. I love OneNote. I use it for a gazillion things, like I said. In here, you'll see that I have something on cultural awareness. I've got some quick notes. I have, hidden bias. My brother fell a few years ago and we were researching spinal cord injuries. Here's my Rocket files, and I'm showing you these. They come up my handwritten stuff. So you'll see that I've got these handwritten notes and I sent them all to my Rocket files section. And then I would move them wherever I wanted to move them. And to do that, I just right click and move them. Okay. And let's see, I have some quilting stuff in here and Master Gardener stuff. So I have a lot of things in here, but I have a lot of notebooks. This isn't the only one I have, but if I were you, I'd try to limit how many I had because you can go crazy with this. So I want to thank you guys for coming and spending the time with me to do all of this. Taking time out of your day. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Susan.
Oh, you're welcome. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, everybody. I don't know why, but I can't even get that to go full screen so I can see all of you.
All right.
Having crazy trouble here.
Yeah, it's been one of those nights. And just remember, everybody, we will not be recording.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, just make sure that you email me on the web address on the site, on the email address on the site. Okay, we're done here.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.